Buongiorno!
Welcome.
Fiore.
It's Jonathan O'Malley here with Sir Hans.
And here we are, a new episode.
New episode. I'm glad to be back.
Me too.
So, guys, today we're going to be talking about something very exciting. This is something that's, I guess it's sort of new, but it's been around for a while. But it's just bleeding into the real estate world, so we think it's important to talk about. It is having buildings that are now associated with brands. And this is something that's happening all over sort of the world. We, of course, also experience in the modeling industry where it's
Of course.
it's something that
It's all
now
about branding there.
Exactly, and it's even if you have a following, right? It's something that brings exposure if you're associated to a brand, but it's now trading into real estate. We'll also want to talk about some of the private membership clubs that's going on in New York City, and this is a huge trend at the moment, and how it's going to affect real estate, how it's affecting us. And really, we want to discuss the pros and cons of that.
Yeah, well, like everything else, there are pros and cons.
Of course.
And I mean, nowadays, again, in New York City, there are popping and growing
So
like
many.
mushroom, those members club. But members club, actually, they were born in London the most.
Yeah.
And then building, they were copying this business model of association.
What was it? Was it Soho House?
Well,
sort of the
Soho
first
House
big one
is
in London?
like the landmark of a member club,
Yeah,
and started in London. But in New York City, we kind of seeing the opposite. So back in the days, already in the 90s, even in the 80s, there were many buildings with big branding, like the Pan Am building that now is the MetLife, or there were a few others. And now is kind of the opposite. They started with building, and now there are only member club all over the place.
Yeah.
In Miami too, every restaurant has a member club. But anyway, pros and cons of being associated with a big brand. That could be a brand from fashion or from a car automotive factory like Porsche Design, or Armani Casa for fashion brand, Bulgari. Pros and cons are few. Yeah, Cipriani. We will tell you all of them after.
Yeah.
So the first pros, obviously, is the status and exclusivity. Basically, when you are in a member club or when you are in a branded building, you're associated with that brand.
Right.
You want to be part of an elite group.
Yeah, it gives you marketing and exposure as well, right?
Yeah. In terms of exposure, it gives you also network effect. A member club or even building, they want to give you an experience, an exclusive experience. And usually this experience is based on a subject, so fashion or a car or finance for member club or artists, arts. And so they want to be associated with that building or with that member club because they want to network with those people.
Yeah.
They are sure that if they go in that environment, they will find what they are looking for.
Right.
Another good pros could be the amenities and services. So obviously, if you go to a branded building, most likely you will have beautiful amenities, pool, gym, and a sort of also standard level of services.
Because the brand is associated with it. So it's not only the building that has to, of course, make sure that the brand actually delivers those services, but on the other side, it's also the brand that has to make sure that the building delivers the amount of quality that the brand usually does, right?
And this is part of the unique experience.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you and your guests, they will feel and remember that unique experience. Your purchase of your real estate as an investment increase the real estate value. So those buildings, most of the time, they cost more because the developer, this is a con, for example, the developer, in order to have all that aura around the building or around the member club, they need to pay fees for the branding.
Of course.
And most of the time, they're very high. So in a certain way, this is a con because the building will be more expensive because the builder spend more money in order to deliver the product. But then in the long run, it's a risk, meaning if the brand is doing good, your investment will keep the value and most likely increase the value of the real estate.
Yeah.
If the brand is not doing really well, that's a con because your investment property is attached to the future of a company that you don't really have power on, decisional power on making the future of the company. So if it's going to hell,
a good
the
example.
Pan Am building.
Yeah, the Pan Am building. But another example is, and this might be a subject to not bring up, but Trump Towers, for example. Like, and Trump, his whole brand, I know he also built the buildings and everything, but he sort of did a mixture of his brand and the building, right? Now, those buildings are performing very poorly.
Bad.
Yeah. So that's a great example of how bad that can be, right? And something like, imagine if there was a Tesla building.
Exactly.
and freaking stops plummeted, and whatever he did, and he tweeted something Elon Musk did, then it can be a risk for not only the developer but also the people that are buying in the building, right?
That's is exactly a real factor to factor in.
Yeah, exactly.
Example, Tesla. All the image of Tesla, okay, the technology and everything, but it's based on Elon Musk. If Elon Musk
exactly.
is politically biased on something and people don't like him anymore,
Yeah.
unfortunately, the company, even though it has nothing to do with Elon
It's
private
taking a
life,
hit.
and this is the same for the Trump building or
Yep.
for the Panam when Panam went bankrupt and then they had to change to MetLife.
Yep.
So these are all the pros and the cons. Again, it costs more, but most likely will increase in value.
Yeah.
So this is a great thing.
So do you think the buildings, I mean, we kind of know this, of course, but for example, I mean, there's a Mercedes building. I think that one is only rentals, but do you think
Yeah,
usually...
it's rental on West Side.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think usually a partnership like this, does that, let's say Armani Casa, we have, the one that we have on 20 Pine Street. So that one is, but that's just the interior designed by Armani,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, interior design, yeah.
Yeah, so that actually might be a better option of collaboration, right? Instead of the building being named after it, you can go on and say everything in the building was designed by a certain kind of person, because that's not really going to decrease the value of the apartment if that company falls off, right?
I like buildings that are partnering with fashion brands.
Yeah.
And I like buildings that are partnering with architects or famous engineer. I am more skeptical on building partnering with a one-name shot like Trump.
Yeah.
Or it will be Elon Musk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
something that depends on one person.
You know, the person also will die at a certain point.
Exactly.
There are many buildings actually talking about that, people dying, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Zaha Hadid building, the last project of Zaha Hadid, this is a famous architect and artist, the one that does everything curved, there are no corner.
Yeah.
The one on the 28th Street.
Yeah,
that
and
one
in
is
Chelsea
beautiful.
it's beautiful.
I mean, in terms of an artist dying, it's bad to say, but usually increase the value.
The value, and that one did, right?
Yeah, when you partner with artists, actually there is not these cons of, also many other buildings that are associated with artists, like the Ansonia on the west side.
Sure.
The Ansonia building is famous for all those artists that they were living in, starting with Andy Warhol. Then there is the Basquiat building in Upper East Side. I mean, there are many. We can name a bunch of them. For example, in the 80s, we had the MetLife building. We had the Bloomberg Tower that was named after the former New York City Mayor Bloomberg. The Hearst Tower. And then the Time Warner Center, the two towers.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. It's a beautiful one. And those are the ones that are mostly from the 90s.
Yeah.
Now, lately, I think we are trending more on collaboration with architects like Herzog de Meuron, an interior designer.
Yeah.
For example, 215 Christie, the public hotel.
Yeah.
The famous Jenga building in Tribeca,
Yeah,
56
amazing.
Leonard. That one is beautiful.
It
And
is.
that one, by the way, has also other collaboration with artists. I don't know if you notice in the street level, there is the Anish Kapoor installation, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
So there are also buildings that are collaborating with more brand, and they putting artists in the lobby, and so this is just to increase the value.
And I think that one is actually that's a perfect example. And weird thing is, there's been a lot of discussion about this lately. So they call it the Bean in Chicago. Have you seen that? So there's exactly the same kind of structure, and I think it's made by the exact same architect. It's a famous sort of tourist attraction in Chicago, the Bean. It's like a shiny bubble, basically. It's the exact same that they used at 56 Leonard. So it's the same guy who went in and sort of put it under the building. It almost looks like the building is squishing it a little bit. And
it's amazing.
I love that building.
And sometimes they are even doing this sort of, when a developer finished to build the building, for let's say the first 2 years of the sellout of the building, they rent installation and artwork from famous artists, for example, Kaz or Anish Kapoor, and they put it in the lobby, so the value of the building increase. And then when they go sell out, I mean, they have the option to keep it, buy it, or just move it, and they change art and they rotate art. Yeah. And
those collaborations are fantastic, I think.
Yeah.
You know, those are actually only beneficial.
I mean, even Picasso did, if you remember.
Those collaborations are fantastic, right? Because there's really no risk on that.
Yeah, I
Like,
love
there's no
collaboration
con.
with artists.
Yeah, there's no con.
There is right now here, I mean, from a few years, obviously, in Park Avenue, I think there is the huge installation of cast, the pink
Yeah.
installation. I mean, this is so these are all technique to have a building increase in value, keep the value, and most likely sell a good investment. But obviously, you're gonna pay a premium for it.
Of course. Yeah. But that's the whole point.
I mean,
right?
this is associated with every job, even for us as a broker. You know, we're at Serant.
Mm-hmm.
We pay a fee, obviously, to be associate broker in this firm, but we pay because we have a big branding behind us, and we let us do better business. So this can be applicable to any other business.
Anything, yeah. And like we were saying before with the modeling, it's prior, and it changed over the last 10 years, I guess. But in the beginning, it was more so like modeling was, okay, maybe you had a name inside of the industry or whatever. But prior to Instagram and everything else, you were hired because of your looks or maybe your persona or whatever else. Now they're hiring someone who has a huge following over someone who maybe look better or fit the brand better, because of course this is free marketing. If that person has 1 million followers, why not hire them? They're going to repost that picture, and it's free marketing, right?
Network effect, association.
Mm-hmm. So exact same thing here, right?
So everybody, at the end of the day, want to be associated and want to go where they know they will find what they're looking for.
Yeah.
They want to be at the right place at the right time. And this is how they started Member Club.
Yep, exactly.
And right now in New York City, we see them popping everywhere.
Everywhere.
I mean, if I have to mention some, the latest Member Club, for example, Casa Cipriani, the one in FIDI, it's more for finance and real estate people. Zero Bond, for artists, and that one is beautiful.
That one is great.
The art inside is amazing.
Didn't they also do one down by the harbor? Cipriani.
Yeah, Casa Cipriani.
Oh, okay, that's the one. Yeah, that one is fantastic.
Yeah,
too.
that one is fantastic.
Yeah.
And also those ones, they have the same pros and cons of a branded building, because you go there, why? Not only because you want to meet the people you want to meet, but you have amenities, gym, pool, restaurant, exclusive experience. And for example, if I have to mention other member club, the Wing is a member club only for women.
Yeah, you were saying about that. Yeah.
Have you been there?
I haven't.
I guess not.
I didn't get access.
Then, for example, one that I loved, Neue House, the one in Madison and
I don't think I've been to that one.
Yeah, it's all about artists, and it's a workspace, but it's very artsy. Then there is the Core Club. Core Club now is opening a new club. It was in Upper East Side. Now they are opening a new one. That one is really expensive, by the way, and it's more for finance people.
Yeah.
And
but it has benefits, right? Like you go there and even as a real estate agent, you go there not only, of course, like you go to meet new people, new clients, whatever else. Exactly. But I do think like the membership club the trend is a little crazy that there's that many of them popping up. But I do think the membership idea in the club and exclusivity and everything else is hugely beneficial for most people. If you are in an industry of entrepreneurship or finance and whatever it must else be, right? Because it's a hub of a place where you can go and meet new people who can expand your business and like-minded people, right?
Yeah.
So,
for example, if I had to mention a few other, even older, the Metropolitan Club, the Med, and the National Arts Club, that one I've been, beautiful, in Gramercy Park. It's all about artists as well. Or there are the University Club, like the Penn Club, the Harvard Club, where people after school, then they meet, they gather together, and they are so successful after the school, and they do business between them. So it's really, really about association. The only things that I'm seeing now in New York City that there are too many.
There are too many.
And the problem that the one I mentioned, they are really let's not forget Soho House. Soho House. I mean, again, I say is a landmark of member club. Right, it's the one that is. I'm a member there, and honestly, I love it. Not really because of association, crowd, or whatever, but because I know everywhere I go in the world, I will find a place where I can work, where I can dine,
service,
where I can have a hotel room, and this constant same service and persistently
familiarity.
Exactly. So those member club, I think they are worth the price.
Yeah.
The problem, and now I see in a restaurant just out of nowhere, okay, let's do a member
Let's do a
club.
member club.
Why?
Yeah.
They just want a subscription
Yeah.
fee-based business model where it's a recurrent model,
Yeah.
probably because they want to go public
Mhm.
sooner or later and they want to show cash flow every month. So
Mhm.
those one I'm not really favorable on, because why would you pay a membership fee of like, I don't know, $10,000 a year
Yeah.
to eat in a restaurant?
Right. Yeah.
Why? After 2-3 times you're
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I don't really get those either. The
in Miami. There are many of
there's
those.
a lot of those.
Many restaurants opening membership.
How long do you think these will last? Is the question.
I think, as in every other business, the one that are real business member club,
Mhm.
they will last.
Yeah.
And they are often a proven success from probably 20-30 years, the one I
Yeah.
mentioned. But the one that are not really implementing amenities or exclusivity
Like the restaurants
or
and stuff like that. Yeah.
or experiences, I don't
They'll
think.
fall off.
Yeah, because the problem of this place is like, let's say after a couple evenings that you see the same people, then
Yeah.
if you don't, you want to be consistent, but you want to
Mhm.
be new in a sort of way.
Yep,
And
yep.
that's how the real member club, they are good because they organize event, they organize panel, they organize podcasts and talk and
Yeah.
events. So that's what I think really gives value to member club.
Yeah.
But
And
in
I-
London, if you go in London, I mean,
It's a whole different ball game. But and I think in a sense, right? So, for example, Zero Bond. Zero Bond is made by people who've already been in that industry. I think it's like One Oak and Up and Down and whatever else. Something like that will stick, but they know what they're doing, right?
yeah.
And that one is like that membership club. It's done to perfection, and it's people behind it that actually been in the hospitality industry for, I mean, years and years and
I
years.
think
that
it's my favorite in town.
dominated, you know. So I think it's like any other business. All the new ones is gonna fall off, and the ones that aren't doing it perfecting, and then the old ones will
Yeah.
stay.
The core business build the business. There are few that are doing great. Many they want to copy because
Yeah.
they see the opportunity.
Yeah.
But then if it's not really their business, I believe it's going to be another bubble.
I think so too.
But I think it's a great way to put yourself in a platform.
I think so too, and especially if it's like if
doing
you're having a hard time networking and whatever else, right? It's a place where that's really the idea of it. You're really looking to, like, the whole point of it is to create a new business, meet new people, you know. So if you're someone that's not good at networking or finding a hard place to network, I think it's a great option.
Oh, and let's not forget, I was forgetting the Amman Club. Now the Amman building, the one in Midtown. I mean, that one will be one. It is already one of the most exclusive member club and one of the best new development building, branded building.
How much is a membership for something like that?
The membership are not that expensive actually. Around $6,000-7,000 a year.
Ah, that's not bad.
Yeah, for the first year. Then they even lower. I'm not sure about the Amman. I don't want to give a wrong information, but all the others, they are most likely the same. First year you pay entry fee about $3,000 plus the 3,000-4,000 annual fee, and then you just pay. For example, Soho House or Zero Bond or Casa Cipriani, they're all about that price.
Yeah.
It's not really about you want to show off. I mean, Core Club, for example, is super expensive.
There's something like 300,000.
Casa Cruz is another one, beautiful. That one was an old townhouse that they converted into a member club, and it's all about Argentinian cuisine and beautiful drink. We gotta go one night.
Yeah, we have to.
So this branding is actually working. It's killing it.
I think so too. And I think the most, like, what we really wanted to cover in this podcast is, I think the future of these things is about collaboration. It's about using other people's brands in a good way. I don't mean that in a bad way, but collaborating, right? And knowing that we live in an age now where different businesses can collaborate all the time.
Cross-marketing.
Cross-marketing, right? So I'm happy that we educated you guys, and we have a lot more stuff to share. So
we are doing some cross-marketing itself, me and Jonathan, right now.
We are indeed.
So thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and me and Emmanuel will have more for you guys.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.